Hi everybody, this is daily math number 16. Go ahead and make sure that you do all of these problems on your own first and then use this video to check your work. And please make sure you're emailing me a picture of your work. All right, number one, the area of a rectangular plot is 4/10 square acres. If one side of the plot is half an acre, what is the length of the other side? So a way to figure out this problem is to ask yourself, how do I find the area of a plot that is rectangular? That's an important part of this problem here. And when we know that when we're finding the area of something rectangular, we know that area is going to be equal to length times width, right? Length times width is how we find the area. So in this case, we're actually given the area, right? It says the area is 4/10 square acres. So we already know the area, so we're going to put that here where the A is. We're also given 1/2 an acre, and then we're asked what is the length of the other side. So we know the width is going to be 1/2, and we still don't know the length. The L, the length, is what we're trying to find here. Now, looking at this new equation we've created, if I'm trying to find L, that means I'm trying to get L, that variable, on its own, right? So right now, this 1/2 is with the variable, and we want to isolate the variable. So we ask ourselves, what's the opposite of multiplying by a half? It would be dividing by a half. So we divide this half away, and this cancels out, and we divide by 1/2 over on this side of the equal sign. We now have 4/10 divided by 1/2 is equal to L. And this is a problem that we can totally do on our own. We know how to divide two fractions by each other. The algorithm for division of fractions is you keep the first fraction the same, you change the sign to multiplication, and you find the reciprocal of the second fraction. So 1/2 would change to 2/1. Now we have a multiplication problem with fractions, so we just multiply straight across. 4 times 2 is 8, 10 times 1 is 10, and then we want to make sure we reduce because 8 and 10 are both divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that missing length over there is 4/5 of an acre. And that's how we would solve this problem here. All right, next one. Circle the expressions that are equal to 12 multiplied by x plus 7. Well, in this case, I can see that A is not going to be the same because in this case, we're multiplying the 12 by the x, but we never multiply the 12 by the 7, so that's not going to give us an accurate answer. Additionally, when I look at this problem, I know that D is not going to work either. And when we go to look at this, we realize that we're not trying to add together 12 and x and 12 and 7, right? We're trying to add x and 7, so that's going to be incorrect. However, both of these two equations here, B and C, are equal and they do work. And the reason for that is really the distributive property. So when we distribute, we give the 12 to the x and the 12 to the 7, and we multiply both of them. So you could write this as 12 multiplied by, that would be this one here, sorry, 12 multiplied by x plus 12 multiplied by 7, right? So we can really see that happening here. Additionally, this one here just skips a step. We're still multiplying 12 by x, but we've already multiplied 12 times 7, which is 84. So both B and C work for this one here. All right, last one, number 3. Anthony bought pizzas for $18.75. He had to pay 9% tax as part of his bill. How much was the tax on the pizza? Round to the nearest cent. So whenever we are taking a percent of something and we're finding tax or we're trying to find the tip, we want to look at what percent we are using here. So 9% is the tax in this case. Remember, percent is always out of 100, right? So this is really 9 out of 100, which as a decimal is 0 and 9 hundredths. Make sure you're in the hundredths place here, right? Because here's the tenths, here's the hundredths place. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply our total, which is $18.75, by our tax, which is 0.099% tax in this case. All right, 9 times 5 is 45. 5, carry that. 4. 9 times 7 is going to be 63. Plus that 4 is 64, 65, 66, 67. So we do a 7, carry the 6. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 6 is going to be 78. So we do an 8 and we carry the 7. 9 times 1 is 9, but then we have that extra 7 to add on there. So we get 16. Now we're going to go ahead and check how many digits are to the right of the decimal in the original problem. Oh, and another thing. A lot of you guys noticed that I stopped here. The reason why I stopped is because I'm not going to sit here and do 0 times 5, 0 times 7, 0 times... I don't need to add a bunch of zeros down here. I know if I add on zeros to this, I'm still going to get the same answer. Okay? But back to where we place the decimal now. We're going to look at how many numbers are to the right of the decimal in the original problem. So here's our 2 decimals. We've got 2 here and 2 here. So all together we have 4 digits to the right of the decimal in the original problem. So we're going to go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to place our decimal here. Now the last part of the question says round to the nearest cent. So we've got 1.6, and then we have to look here. This 7 is going to bump this 8 up to be a 9, right? So the tax is going to be $1.69. All right, that's it for daily math. Hope you guys are doing well. I miss and love you all. I'll talk to you soon.